indigenous people of Biafra has described it as clownish for the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice (AGF) Abubakar Malami to say whether Ipob's detained leader Nnamdi Kanu will be released from detention is dependent on the Southeast governors and politicians. The separatist leader has been detained by the Department of State Services (DSS-6) since its extraordinary rendition from Kenya to Nigeria in June 2021. Last Thursday, a three-man panel of the appeal courts in their ruling discharged and acquitted Kanu. However, the AGF has insisted that Kanu was only discharged, not acquitted. Hence, the Ipob leader would remain in detention. In a statement by its media and publicity secretary Ima Powerful on Tuesday, Ipob described Malami's claim that the unconditional release of Kanu would be determined by Southeast governors and politicians as unintelligent, disgraceful, and incoherent. Ipob therefore asked the AGF to desist from chasing after the opinions and decisions of Southeast governors and politicians and obey the appellate court ruling by releasing Kanu from detention without further delay, as Kanu's continued detention is violation of his fundamental human rights. The statement read, "The attention of the global movements and family of the indigenous people of Biafra has been drawn to the unintelligent, disgraceful, and incoherent statement credited to the Attorney General Alhaji Abubakar Malami to the effect that the Igbo governors and politicians will decide whether Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be released unconditionally." Like, seriously? What a clownish statement from the chief law officer of Nigeria, a son for that matter, who should know better. Such illogical statements from the Nigeria government and its official is sick, one among many justifications for calling Nigeria the Zoological Republic of Nigeria. IPO believes that these Igbo governors and politicians that Malami want to turn into a reviewing panel of the judgments of a competent court of jurisdiction. The Court of Appeal know the game and evil intention of the AGF and will certainly not fall for this Greek poison packaged in the deceptive form of making them relevant. IPOP can confidently posit that these governors and politicians are more intelligent than the Fulani quota system, Attorney General and Minister of Justice of the Federation. These Fulani terrorist sponsoring governments think that their divide and conquer tactics will work for them this time around in their attempts to try and shift the responsibility of the continued illegal incarceration of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra on the governors and politicians of Southeast extraction. The agenda to create confusion and more problems in Igbo land won't work. We will not allow them to do this again to our people. IPOB wants to ask Malami, when did Igbo governors and politicians become a court of superior mandate in Nigeria to decide if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, our leader, will be released unconditionally or not after the court appeal? The second highest court of competent jurisdiction has made a well-reasoned ruling already. It seems Malami does not have the boku to approach the Supreme Court now that the aeroplane turner is no longer in charge. Hence, the desire to supplant and foreclose that channel while trying to implicate governors and politicians of Southeast origin. Igbo governors and politicians should understand this gimmick before going in any meeting that the Caliphate government will call them to. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was discharged and acquitted by the appeal court, not by Igbo governors and politicians. But if any Igbo governor or politician chooses to be a willing to and a useful idiot of the Caliphate, let that soul take over the responsibility of deciding if Madike will be released or not. We dare that individuals or group, Malami and the APC government, must realize Mazi Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally is as declared by the appeal court and recommended by the UN Human Rights Working Group without delay because he committed no crime known to either local or international law. Malami has been releasing terrorists from prison without taking them to court, but has decided to play a demigod by this attempt to disregard and disobey the judgment of the Court of Appeal. as it has ignored the opinion of the UN Human Rights Working Group. We are still wondering how this kind of individual became a lawyer, let alone become the attorney general of a supposed democratic nation. If an attorney general of a nation who is Ipob, who is supposed to hold the justice system in constitutional democracy, is the one destroying the rule of law, then Nigerians are in a big political mess with this kind of government officials saddled with the immense responsibility of governance and upholding the law. Malami, your flagrant disobedience to the appeal court and UN Human Rights Working Group rulings and opinions, respectively, on the issue of the unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will secure you a room in ICC jail in the future. If you think Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or Ipob will surrender or retreat, you are just dreaming. If you are not careful, the Biafra project and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will consume you and your collaborators, because we have the backing of the almighty Chukwu Kike Abiema. So you mean Malami said that the people that can make Nnamdi Kanu to be released, or that can guarantee the release of Nnamdi Kanu, are the governors and leaders of the Southeast? I don't understand. When Buhari was saying the other day that a political issue or political solution was not going to release Nnamdi Kanu, when they went to beg him or to tell him to release Nnamdi Kanu, the elders of the land, at the end of the day, they went through the process and the court decided to release him, that he's not committed any offense. So Malami turned around, because what the first thing I heard from him was he that he was only discharged, not acquitted, because of the bail. He jumped bail. That as far as a Kenya case is concerned, he was able to get discharged on that. But now you are telling us it is the of course these people have really explained everything here, so you are giving conditions that it's only the governors that can guarantee his release. This man is a terrible person. The truth be told, based on observation, Fulani have released Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It is the Igbo that sold Nnamdi Kanu that are pleading Fulani not to release Nnamdi Kanu. Can you imagine? As long as Nnamdi Kanu is in Nigeria through forceful abduction, no court case against him by governments can stand lawyers. You cannot build something on nothing, and it will definitely consume him if he is not careful. It is unfortunate having such fellow as Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the country in Nigeria. Nigeria is funny. I keep wondering who advises Nigeria government legally. This man called Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and brought into this country, and Nigeria government ignorantly started trying him in a law court. Wow. So guys, we've heard it all. Let's know what you think.